Welcome to This Week in Hearthstone, your weekly dose of everything happening in Hearthstone. I am your host, Jay, and today is Friday, July 26, 2024. We have a lot to talk about. It's been about 2 weeks since I've done one of these. Let's go over everything. First of all, a few weeks ago, confirmed actually this week when Perils in Paradise was launched, we were not getting a game board for this expansion. And the fan base was very, very vocal about their feelings for this. Last week, Hearthstone said that we're going to go ahead and give us an update this coming week about the situation, and they did that today. And of course, everything I talk about will be linked in the show notes below. Nathan Lyon-Smith has written what partially sounds like an apology letter, and then it's for not communicating enough, and about the future and direction of the game and their plans for course correcting some of the maybe communication issues of the game. I implore you to read this, okay? It looks like we're only going to get one new board per year. Looks like they're working on paid boards, board pets, whatever those are going to be, maybe like Runeterra. Not sure yet. Personalized boards. I have two things to say about this entire thing, and I wanted this to be the most important thing we talked about today. Number one, they would not have to continuously apologize if they just talk to us. You see missing items, lack of esports in the game, no swag to buy on the gear store, which is infuriating to me because I want to buy stuff that says Hearthstone on it, no expansion cinematic, no board. Your first thoughts are, with a 10-year-old game, this is end of life. And no communication disputing that, or communication that fuels the fire that Hearthstone's on its last legs are a bad thing. We've seen the sorry for not communication before, several times before, within the past, I'd say year, we've seen it several times. Again, they would not have to continuously apologize if they just spoke to us. Just talk to us. The game director has been very quiet since starting. I've seen a couple of items from him, but nothing to bring up the communication of what's going on in the game. It's a net negative. Since the game launched, we've had communication. Maybe it's not constant communication, but we've had communication from all of the game directors before, and this one seems like it's just a little bit quiet. And listen, I'm not saying for Nathan to jump onto a camera and to start singing and dancing and telling us stories and tucking us in at night, but a quarterly State of the Union, maybe the article on the website, or maybe, I don't know, notes to community managers, something. Think roadmaps, kind of like how World of Warcraft does. I'm sure Hearthstone has heard about that game, right? Even, listen, come to me. If you guys want to talk about Hearthstone, I'll talk about Hearthstone every day of the week. Call me on Sunday, 2 a.m. and said, hey, do you want to talk a little about what's going on with Hearthstone? There'll never be a time I say no. I'll not be able to communicate, and I'll learn sign language to be able to communicate the items that you're going to tell me. Let's go. Let's talk about it. We just want to have some communication, because no communication and what we have been seeing without communication looks like, okay, the game is dead. But this is not all doom and gloom. There's some good stuff here. I'm optimistic about what's happening. I like this. And if you read through the article, and again, I think that you should read the article, the last thoughts here, what they wrote: Hearthstone is here to stay. While it has evolved and adapted over the past 10 years, one thing hasn't changed, is the fact that there is an amazing team behind it. I 100% agree with that, with as much passion as energy as ever. And I also agree with that. We have a fantastic upcoming slate of cards and themes, exploring new stories that can be told within Azeroth and beyond, as well as events and features that we hope will surprise and delight you. Number two to this, and I'm just going to put my last thought to this: if the main game is free, okay, if the main game and the card game does not cost a regular human being anything to play it, I'm fine with selling everything. I'm fine with game boards costing money. I'm fine with pets. I'm fine with all the digital crack that's in here that you can buy that just does not cause you to win games, but causes you to have a better experience or have more fun or look cool because you've wailed out on this game. I'm all for it. My wife is a free-to-play player, and she likes that. I like to spend money on the game. That's fine. If both of us are able to have a good time in the game doing what we want to do, and the game lasts longer and longer and longer, and the devs are putting in the love that they have been doing, and the community managers are doing an awesome job on that side, and we're having some fun, that's a positive. And because of that, I'm super optimistic of what the game is going to be. Like I said, don't want this to be all doom and gloom, and because of that, I'm going to keep on going here on this channel. So listen, every Friday or almost every Friday, I do the weekly news recap. I have the budget deck videos I do every single week where I talk about how to play the game without spending an arm and a leg. So 1600 dust or less, above 50% win rates. I'm trying to get stuff from bronze through gold. We'll talk about it, all of it. We'll go over these decks. We'll look for alternatives. I also have with Flair HS, the Hearthstone Complaints Department podcast, where we do that every week. I'm also working on a midweek meta. I have something that I have an idea for, but I just want to put some pieces together. You'll start seeing that, and then listen, as much content as I can cram into this channel that you guys are looking for Hearthstone, I am down for it, ready to rock and roll for it, and I'm excited for the next 10 years of Hearthstone. So let's now just completely move into what happened this week. Of course, you've seen it. Welcome to Paradise, or Perils in Paradise, whatever you want to say about it. It's great right now. I'm looking at just some tier 1 decks that are going on right now. And listen, the meta is still super new right now, so Flood Paladin is still there. So if you didn't spend a lot of money or didn't buy any packs whatsoever, you have some opportunities there to still dominate in the game. And there's some really cool archetypes that are being built. There's some very scary ones that are being built. No one likes Ham except for the person playing Ham. That one's pretty much a pain in the butt. But the one thing I do want to talk about while we're talking about cards and everything, I think Zilliax is too strong, and I think that I'm not the only one that agrees with that. If a card is in 50% of decks or above for several months, and it has been several months, it came out during Whizbangs. Look at this. I pulled this today from HS Replay Stats. This card is in 73.1% of the decks that are in the Legend rank ladder. That's pretty strong, and it's broken in certain instances. You have to configure this. It's a little too broken, and I'd love to see something maybe to tone it down a little bit. I'm not saying to nerf it into oblivion. I'm not saying to ban it. Just make it a little bit less strong, because being 73% of all decks and you're building decks completely around that card, ew, I'm not a fan of it. But listen, it's way too early as well. Don't think I'm saying let's nerf everything to the ground. Let's leave all the new cards alone for right now. Let's go ahead and grab some outlier cards like Zilliax and then see how the meta reacts to it. That's my suggestion, but I'm not a dev. I don't know what I'm talking about. Next up, if you are looking for decks during this season, Wicked Good and his team at the offcurve.com website, they always curate during the expansion an amazing collection of decks you can try out. And listen, if you don't have all of the cards, you're working on a budget, I've got you. I'll be back in a few days. I'm working on some decks right now. I don't have everything put together yet, but I promise you, as soon as I have several decks that you can play on a budget, I got you. I'll take care of it. Offcurve.com is the site. I will leave a link, like I said, in the description below for this. And then Squelch is expanding. Squelch, another Hearthstone podcast, is expanding their reach. They are now, of course, a podcast that's not 100% dedicated to Hearthstone. They will talk about Hearthstone when it's needed, but they're branching out into other games and other things. And as the group of them get together, they talk about more than just games. You've seen it if you've listened to one episode. Great group of people. I want to thank everyone who put any time, any love, any care and effort into that show, and I cannot wait to hear what they have cooking up next. And I'm still subbed to the channel. You should too. Next up, here's a crazy good watch that came out today. Let's see what it is. Okay, so Macadog PS, excuse me if I killed that, and Bionic Door have created the completed timeline of Hearthstone. Say that 3 times fast. It covers all 32 expansions that are currently in the game, and they put them all together chronologically, and it's to form their own timeline of events of what happened. So first of all, follow both of them. Second of all, watch this video. It's like less than an hour. It's like 51 minutes and change. I have not finished it all yet, but I'm blown away of what they've been able to do. And I love the creativity, and I can't wait to see what they're doing next. And again, follow them both on Twitter. There's some really cool stuff that they're doing on Twitter as well. I'm done. I think I'm finished speaking. I've talked too much. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you in the next video.